hash code and equals method. So means instead of that, if we use a tree set there and this override a compare to method, so will it work?
Reset and compare to.
Yeah, I think it will also work.
Because tree map will not use a hash code and equals, right?
Yes.
Tree map or tree set, it will internally use the like a comparable for sort means for comparing element and to put the unique element.
Yes.
Okay.
The same example what I've done, I've just done by using Java 8. So here, if you see, I've created a list like this, and inside it, I'm just using array.as list of that corresponding list. Here, we are using it by dot add, but in coming to Java 8, we have some this kind of functions or dot as list. So based on this, I have added the corresponding list. And if you see the logic, what I have done here means by using streams only. So if you see, I'm just um, typing the list and dot stream, and stream we have a method called distant. So distant, what if it will do means it will just remove duplicate elements, and it will give the corresponding elements what we have like. And based on that, for printing, I'm just using for each like this. If you want, you can use dot collect collectors dot util dot list something you have no. Instead of for each, you can use that one also, and you can display those elements as well. So if I run this program, if you see uh, before having a duplicate elements, it is like this, and after removing the duplicates, we have only mango, banana, and apple. Java 8, you can use distant for removing the duplicate elements. So, shall I go with the next question?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
So if you see, the next question is, I need to find duplicate in array. Now, before we have found array list, now it is array. So, so if you see here also, I've applied both in Java 7 and Java 8. So, so if you see, initially I have declared one array. So like this, inside, if you see, it is holding the duplicate elements, if you see. And also, I have created one map for storing it. Um, in that, if you see, we are having the key value. Uh, Based on that, I'm going to display it. So if you see, I'll just debug this one, for example. So now if you see, my index will be 0, and 0 less than my array length. Array length will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 it will be. So since the condition is satisfied, it is coming here. Initially, if you see, always the map will be empty, no? So due to this condition will get false. So I've used ternary operator condition. So if you see, for false condition, I'm returning 1. So if you see now, sorry. So if you see now, um, I'm putting the values in array of index. If you see, um, the value is 1, and if you see in count, it is also 1. So again, the loop will be executed. So again, if you see this, now the index value will be 1. Now if you see the array of index value, it will be 1. Now it will compare whether this corresponding this array of index is present in this one or not. So, and after that, if you see, based on the condition, no, the array of index value will be 1. and count it will be 2. So based on this, the loop will be executed until the length is, I think. And now if you see, so if you see now in my data map, if you see one is one is having 2 time. Actually one, this is like key value only, no? So one is having 2 values and 2 is having 1, and 3 is present 2 times and 4 is 1, and 7 is 1 time, and 8 is present of 2 times. So if here if you see I have added one keys if condition. Uh, if data map is get of key is if it is greater than 1, I'm just displaying that corresponding element how many times it is displayed. So if you see in my data map, uh, if key the get of key is greater than means um, one is having 2 times. So due to that, what are the elements it will present means 1, uh, 3 and 8 it will be displayed. So if you see, uh, so C1, 3, and so like this, I have used this element. So based on this, I've printed this one. So this is the expectation what they are expecting. Shall I go with Java 8 logic?
Yes.
So in Java 8, if you see, actually I've created with 2 methods, the same array I've used. Uh, in MN method, if you see, I'm using the string with for each actually. In this, what I have done is arrays dot stream dot for each. I'm using lambda expression, and inside the lambda expression, what I have done, I have used the same logic what I have used here with ternary condition. So based on this, I have used this one, and for displaying those element like this, so what I have done the same logic I've used like this with for each based on key value actually. So if you run the code, the same output will be displayed actually. And in method 2, if you see what I've done, I have not used for each here. Instead, what I've done, we have in Steam, we have one uh, method called boxed. What box it will do means it will just return the stream of elements, whatever which is present based on the integer type. So I've used this intermediate operation here, and based on that, I've used the collectors dot to list for collecting and having those elements in the form of list. And again, what I've done in stream again the for loop I've used the same concept here. What I've done and same ternary condition I've used, and I've used for each for displaying those values actually. Same concept only, but in Java 8, what is the difference? So due to that, I've added the same logic here, and Java 8 how we have applied like that I've done. So want to, I'll execute the method too. So the same output will be coming. Do you have any doubts in it? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah. Can you show M2 method?
Here I've created one list. So here, if you see, I've not created any list. Directly I've processed array.stream like that. Here I've created one list and I've used this boxed. And after that, again, based on this split, I'm doing for each.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes. So I'll go with next question. Uh, so fourth question will be like they told to create a custom array list or linked list or hash map. So I have created a custom array list. Um, so coming to array list, actually, if you see defaultly in array list will be having a initial capacity of 10. The capacity of this will be 10, and based on that we want to increase the capacity, means we'll be having a logic of return to increase the capacity of the size actually in array list. So I'll just explain now. So if you see uh, what I have done, initially I have created an object for custom array list. So for this, what I have done, I have added the corresponding some set of elements. Inside that, if you see, I have just created list.add of one. So if you see in this add method, what they are doing means, so initially, if you see, the size is 0, and you see they are checking the condition like size is equal to element data dot length, like that. If you see the element data will be the initial capacity, so the size equal to 10. So I think this is not satisfying the condition. So due to that, what is happening again, they are incrementing. Let me put a debug point. I'm just running now. Sorry, just stop. Okay, so so if you see now, the size is 0, since initially we have declared size is equal to 0. And if you see element dot data length is equal to 10, since if you see here in parameters constructor custom array list, they have set that element data is equal to new object of initial capacity. So the initial capacity will be 10. So due to that, I'm getting this in. So if you see, this condition is not satisfied. Actually, it will not go to this if condition. So I'm just doing. So if you see the here the element data, they are incrementing. They are just post incrementing the size. So now it will be null since it is post incrementing. So now if you see, we are adding the corresponding value 1 now. So the integer value it will be 1 here. Okay. So now I'm again in F6. So now if you see again, it is coming to the second element. So again, if you see the size, it will be 2, and the element dot data length will be 10 only. So it is not satisfying the condition. So again, this it will be executed. So again, for all this one, if you see, again the same process will be happening, and again it will be happening. So just a second. So initially, if you see, I have printed the corresponding array list, what it is present actually. Just just a second. So if you see here, I'm using list.display. Here, if you see, I'm just using the concept of displaying all the elements in the array list. So if you see, I have just used the uh, for for loop. So based on actually, since it is array, so for displaying it in a bracket, so I've used like this kind of logic. So normally you can use for loop, so it will just print the element. For just displaying in the brackets, I've used this kind of logic. And if you see what I'm doing, and after that what I'm doing, I'm just getting the corresponding element from the index one. So here they have used get, I have used get method. So here if you see in this logic, what I've done means I'll just debug. So if you see now the index is 1 and index 1 is less than 0. So here is if it is not satisfying the condition, and now we are checking the second condition, 1 greater than or equal to size. If you see, I'm having the array list of size, so this is also not satisfied. So due to that, they are just returning the corresponding element, if you see. So now here they are returning. So if you see the value, it will be returning. So element, what I've done, I've just displaying the one. So if you see the one position value, it will be 2 as of our structure. So the value 2 is displayed here. And at last, what I have done, we have a concept called remove actually in array list. So for that, what I have done, I'll tell you. So in remove method, if I put a debug and I do, so just a second. Just a second. So now if you see for remove method, the index is 1 since I'm removing the first index value, so it is 1. And if you see 1 greater than or equal to 6, so it is not satisfying this, so it will come here. So I'm just creating one removed element as an object based on the index. So if you see, I'm just creating one for loop. Since I'm removing the middle of the element, again, the index position will be changed now. So based on that, I have applied a logic here for incrementing it. And based on that, I'm decreasing the size of the value. So if you see, the for loop is getting executed. Size. And if you see the removed element, the value 2 got removed. So based on that, if you see, I'm just printing. So if you see, my first index value got removed, and after that, the corresponding elements are displayed accordingly. And also one thing, for example, if I see here, if my size already I have displayed here 6. So if my size, for example, I'm just having the array list size of 10. So if this condition gets satisfied means I'm calling this ensure capacity. So this method, what it will do means, see, initially my element data length is 10. So 10 start to. So now our increased capacity size, it will be 20. So based on that, if you see, it is having it is just taking a copy of corresponding new length. So now our new length will be 20, and based on that, the release size will be 20. So based on this, I have added a logic here. If we want, we can add some particular elements and you can use it. So actually, this is the concept of array list. We have to add, get, and we can remove. So this is the custom array linked list actually. And for example, if you see, I'm just using list dot remove of 11 like that. If I do that means, so if you see, initially our size is 10 only. For example, if I'm giving greater than size like that means, so I'm just throwing this kind of index out of bound exception actually. So this is what I've done here actually. For get also same thing. Since we have only 6 size, so if you give like this, so corresponding 11th index, it will get removed actually. Any doubts in it? Hello, am I audible to you?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, then shall I proceed with next question?
Guys, are you clear? Do you have any doubts, any questions? I think so. We can proceed.
Yes. Actually, nexus of puzzle. I will tell this question at last of the winter. Next is a check for string anagram. So anagram is nothing but, for example, if I'm having two string, for example, string one is TEST, and string two is um, EST, like that. Just showing clips, for example. Just wait. So here if you see, I'm having string 1 TEST and string 2 I'm having TETS. If you compare these two strings, the same set of characters is only present, but the position is different. Anagram is nothing but if the corresponding same set of string characters are present in another string also, it is anagram. For example, if you see TEST and it is like TETS, so it is equal only. So these two strings will be anagram. For example, if I'm just instead of S, I'm just giving TETR. So if you see, the two strings are different, so it is not anagram. So this is what anagram. So based on program logic, I will explain now. Um, so initially, what I've done, I've just created two string, and based on that, I've used one Boolean method is anagram. For example, if you see, I'm having string A of TEST and string B of TETS. For example, in the if condition, what I have done, if my corresponding length is not equal, so directly I'm returning false. Okay. So if you see, if my string one is 4 and again I'm inserting it as R. So if you see, if I'm just compiling the program, so if you see, based on this if condition itself, I'll just consolidate like the two strings are not equal since the length is different. So due to that, I've added that logic. My second, and after that, what I have done, if, for example, I've just given two strings are equal, okay. So now this if condition, it will not come inside to this block. So what I have done, I have just created an hash map. Initially, according to logic, map, initially the map will be empty. So I'm just now debugging. So if you see, now my A string is test. So based on the for loop, it will come. So if you see, I'm just giving what. So if you see in char 80 of I, now I value will be 0. Okay. So in that, if you see my corresponding letter is T. So here, if you see, I'm just having the condition map dot contains key of their corresponding letter T. Initially, map will be empty. If I overrun map, if you see, it is empty only. So if you see this condition, it will not get satisfied. So what it will happen? So it will go to else block. So sorry. So in else block, if you go, I'm just putting the corresponding with see now. So it will be like T comma 1, the character comma integer key comma value, it will be like this. Again, I'm just executing the loop again. So again, the I value will be 1. So if you see now, my second value will be E. So TE, so second value is TE. So it will if you see in my map now, we are having only T. So due to that, this condition will get false. So again, I'm executing. So again, it came here. Now we'll be having the map value as T is equal to 1 and E is equal to 1. So again, I'm executing. So again, what will happen? We'll be having S, and if in the map will not having S, so it will be like S is equal to 1. So now E is equal to 1. Now if you see again, the T is repeated here. Okay. So now what will happen? So if you see, already I'm having the letter T in map. So due to that, if you see, so this condition will get satisfied since I'm already having letter T here. So if you hear what I have done, I'm just increment. I'm just adding it. So you see, sorry. So if you see T, so again, if it is sitting, so now my T count value will be 2. So just executing. So if you see in my map, already S is equal to 1, T is equal to 2, and E is equal to 1. These are the values now present in map. Okay. Now I'm coming to string 2. So in string 2, if you see, I'm having TE, TS. Okay. So here also, if you see, based on the for loop, I'm just having the condition. Already, if you see in my map, already these values are present. Okay. Here, what I'm doing, I'm just here I'm just doing subtraction of the values, how many it is containing. So first value it will be T. So if you see in map already I'm having T value 2 times. So now I'm just debugging it. So now if you see it is going went. So now if you see, you can see the T, it is reduced to 1. Again, my second value it will be E. So now if you see, E becomes 0 since it is balanced already, the value is 1. So again, I'm executing now. Sorry, now it will go to T again. Now T value will be 0. So now if you see T, E, yes, everything got 0. So now it is equal. So now here it will come in map already. If you see my values, S is equal to 0, T is equal to 0, and E is also 0. Based on key set, I'm handling one condition. So if my this corresponding key it's not equal to 0, I'm just returning false. Now I think will not, I'll just now it will not go inside to this, since if you see. So now if you see, since everything is equal, so it is returning true. And based on that, if you see here, what I've done, I'm adding a condition if both the string are equal. So here, if you see, two strings are anagram of each other. For example, what I'm doing, I'm just replacing this value with TRS, okay? So for executing this, I'll just explain you. So I'm debugging now. So, actually, it is not satisfying the condition. So due to that, it is not going. Okay. Have you understand this logic?
Vignesh, Gaurav here. Any specific reason we chose map here? Or we can use any other thing like array as well?
Yeah, actually, since it is a collection topic, I've used hash map, that's all.
Okay.
It's not any specific reason for this actually.
Otherwise, we can do it via array or any other thing, right? And converting it back to string and comparing it.
Yeah, you can do that like that also.
Okay.
Okay, shall I proceed with next question? Hello?
Yes, yes, you can proceed.
Yeah. Okay. So if you see, my next question is, given a sorted array, so I'm having a sorted array. So in that, I need to print the two numbers whose sum is close to the given number actually. For example, I'm having a value 22. If I'm adding 19 plus 19 and plus 2, so I'm just getting an sum of 21, which is equivalent to the number 22. So based on that, I need to write this program actually. So I'll just show you. So here, if you see, I'm just having a array like 10, 22, 28, 29, 30, 40, and I've given one x a value as 54. So for example, if you see, I'm just going to compare this 54 sum element. So if you see this element, I just want to show the output like which is nearest to the 52, what are the elements I can get added. If you see 30 and 22, I'm getting value as 52. So my output, it should be like the closest element is 22 and 30 like that. So for this, I have written one logic. So I'll just debug and I'll explain you. So initially, if you see, I'm having array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And if you see the n value it will be 6 and x value it will be 24 and array all the elements. And initially what I'm just using, I'm just writing the result based on left and right. So initially I have given the value as 0. Okay. And again, if you see here, I'm just using L is equal to 0 and R is equal to n minus 1. So now if you see our n value, it will be 6. So if you see 6 minus 1, 5. And if you see, I'm just giving difference is equal to integer dot max value. If you see for integer, our max value will be like this. So based on this, I'm handling the condition. So if you see, now if you see, my R value will be 5, 5 greater than 1, 5 greater than 1. So it is not satisfying the condition. So if you see, sorry, 5 greater than 1, it is satisfying the condition. So if you see, it is going to this if condition. If you see in this array of L, if you see what is the value present, array of L is 0. So array of 0 is 10. If you see from the corresponding array sorted list, if you see my 0th value is 10. So it will be 10. And if you see my R value, it is 5. So array of 5, array of fifth position, what is the value? 1, 2, 3. So it will be 40. So if you see it is 40. So 40 plus 10, it will be 50. And if you see my x value, it will be 54. So 50 minus 54. And if you see the value is less than the difference only. So it is satisfying the condition. And I'm debugging now. If you see, so it is setting the L value as 0. R value, if you see, it will be 5. And if you see now difference, so array of L 0, it will be the value, it will be 10. 10 and array of 5, it will be 40. 40. And if you see the x value, it will be 54. 50 minus 54. So the difference, it will be 4. Okay. So now if you see the difference, it will be 4. Now, if you see array of L plus array of R greater than X, if you see array of 1 value, it will be 10. Array of 5, it will be 40. 40 plus 10, 50. 50 greater than 54. It is not, so it is not satisfying the if condition. So it will go to else part. In else part, if you see, I'm just post incrementing the L value. So now if you see our L value, it will be 1. So based on that, until the while condition it is getting satisfied, it will execute. So I'm just doing. So it will be 22 array of 1 and array of always it will be 5 only. So it will be 40 only. So 40 plus 22, it is 62. So 62, it's greater than 54. So it is satisfying the condition. So now it is post decrementing the R value. So now if you see the R value, it will be 4. So based on this logic, again the while loop will be executed, and at last, if you see, based on the condition, I'll just print the corresponding equivalent value which is satisfying this. Is 4 only, the value is 2. So now if you see, it's array of 1. So array of 1, it will be 22, and array of 4, it is 30. So based on this, if you see, the closest pair based on my corresponding x value, it will be 22 and 30. Have you understood this? Do you have any doubts? Okay,
Yes,
then,
guys, are you clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
then I'll proceed with my next question.
Yes, sure,
Yeah.
Pritesh.
So if you see, my next question is, I'm having a set of array of random numbers. Okay. In that, I need to push all the zeros of the corresponding array to the end of array. For example, so this is my array. If you see, I'm having 0 here, here, and here, and here. What I have to do, I have to move all the zeros at the end position. Okay. So for this, what I have done, I've just created a simple array of these elements. And if you see, I'm just having n 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12. Array of length, it will be 12. And if you see, I'm just calling a method push zeros to end. So here, if you see, I'm just initializing my count is equal to 0. So I'm just debugging it. First time, if you see, it came into for loop. My I value will be 0 less than my corresponding n. What is n? 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. So it will be 12. So it is satisfying the condition. So again, it will go to if block. So now if you see array of 5, what is the array of 5 value? It will be 1. So array of 0, the 0 value will be 1. 1 not equal to 0. It is satisfying the condition. Okay. So what I've done, I'm just post incrementing the count, and based on that, I'm executing this for loop again and again. So again, if you see, it will come again in first in I'm having the value 9. If you see, okay, not until it is satisfying that not equal to 0, this one will be getting. Let's show you. So now it is 4. So 4 not equal to 0, it is satisfying. So our next element will be 0. See, now it is 0. 0 not equal to 0. It will not go to this if condition. So again, the for loop is getting executed. So for all the elements, I'm doing the same. And if you see at last, so now if you see my count, it will be 8. So if you see, neglecting the zeros, my value for all other values will be, I'm having 4 zeros, my size is 12. So 8 values, it's satisfying this condition. Now if you see, my count is 8 and my end value will be 12. So what is happening? So if you see again, it is incrementing, post incrementing, and at the 9th position will be the 0, it will be getting added. So likewise, it will be satisfying for 9 less. Now it is 9, and again if you see, so now it is 11. So if you see, now it is executing. At last, what I'm doing, I'm just using the simple for loop for printing those elements. So based on the iteration, see, it is printing. Yeah. So if you see, all the zeros have been moved to back. So this is a simple logic actually in JavaScript I've written. It's clear?
Yes, Vignesh.
Yeah. So next I will proceed with the next question, which is reversing a linked list of given size. So what I have to do, I'm just having a set of linked lists. Based on that, I need to reverse those corresponding linked lists. So coming to linked list, if you see, generally it will be like this. My corresponding element and where the head is being taken place, like this, the logic it will be. So based on the program, I will explain. So if you see, for this corresponding class, I have created one object. So based on that object, what I'm doing, I'm just pushing this first element as 9. So if you see in the push method, I'm just going to push method. So if you see, initially I've created one class called node. In the node, what I'm doing, I'm just having data, and for pointing the next element, I'm just using the node next. And in that, I'm just creating the parameters constructor, just holding the data is equal to true, and initially my next value will be null. So I'm just going to debug this corresponding push now. Just show you. So it came here. So if you see now, um, node, new node is equal to new node of new data. This new underscore data, it will be consisting our element 9. So I'm just pushing that element. So it will be stored here. And again, if you see now, if you see our head, next it will be null. So due to that, it will be null. And again, what they are doing, again, they are just assigning that head is equal to new node. Our new node will be having this corresponding 9th node object value. And again, what I'm doing, I'm just inserting the second element. So if you see my new data, it will be 8. And again, if you see, now the head, it will be 9 object value. If you see, so if you see, my head is on 9, node 9th object value. So sorry, previously in previous it is 9. Now if you see my new node value, it will be of data 8. This is the head will be holding the 8th node object value here. So based on this, each and every element will get inserted by using this push. So now here what I'm doing, I'm just going to print this corresponding list. So here in this method, what I have done, debugging. So if you see at last, if you see what I have added, 1. So the element 1 is I have added at last. So now the head, it will be 1 data node object. So that corresponding first head, first node object data will be present in head now. So if you see, so if you see my temp, the data, it will be 1. So based on this, go to condition and temp is equal to temp dot next. I've given that. And again, the loop will be executed. Now, if you see the temp value, it will be 2. It will be executed. You can see here it's the linked list I'm printing. So now I have printed the corresponding list what I have added. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to reverse my given list. Okay. So here, if you see, I've just used a method called node reverse. In that, I'm just having k. Here, if you see the case, nothing but, for example, I'm just giving 9 means. So it will reverse from 9. For example, if I'm giving 3, 3 means what? It will just split into 3 blocks. If it is 1, 2, 3, it will be displayed as 3, 2, 1 and 6, 5, 4 and 9, 8, 7 like that. So for example, if you see, I've just given 9. So now it will go to this reverse method. So now if you see my head, it will be data 1, since at last I've created 1. Node next is equal to null. They have set it, and previous is also null. And they have declared count is equal to 0. Now if you see count 0 is less than k. My k value it will be 9. And if you see my current value, it will be head, no? So head is 1. So again, if you see, next it will be null since here. And if you see in current dot next, my current value, it will be head value. So it will be first node object value. And again, if you see, they are just declaring current dot next is equal to previous. Now my previous, it will be current value. And if you see again what they are doing, I'm just doing current is equal to next value, and I'm just incrementing my count. So based on this, if you see again, it will go to no head. If you see my head, it will be sorry. You go again for now it is 3. Again, it will be executing up to 9. Sorry. And if you see based on this condition, I've used reverse of next comma k element, and based on I'm just returning those previous element, and based on this I'm printing this one. So if you see, for example, I'm just giving here as 3. So if you see, it is reversing with 3 elements. If I'm giving 4, So it will reverse from 4. So this is the logic I've written. Is it okay for you? Hello?
Yes, Vignesh.
Yeah. So I've left only with one question. This is of puzzle. Uh, Actually, if you see, my puzzle is 8 balls having 1 ball of more weight. Find out the ball in 2 iteration of using weighing machine, like that they have told. Um, so for this, can you see this? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, Vignesh, we can see.
Yes. Um, Mansi, actually, I need your help for this, Mansi, actually. It's somewhat,
Yes.
uh, Mansi, actually, for this, actually, we have to check whether it is balanced or not. So based on
Mm,
that, we are splitting into groups. And
yes.
at last, uh, here they told like this, but according to this, I have to check which is the defective one, but I could not find that one actually.
No, no. Actually, you have to check out that which ball's weight is less, or you can consider it as a vice versa, that which ball is having a more weight, and only that thing you have to check out with the two iterations. That is the only logic you require to follow.
Okay.
So you will divide them into three groups,
Yes,
right? So means
yes.
actually, what is not you're getting? Can you just tell us?
Uh,
Or wait,
Actually,
wait, wait. First second. Just first explain the puzzle part. From our
okay,
group, let's see anyone is able to give the answer.
okay. Um, so if you see, here I'm having 8 balls. So this 8 balls, I'm just going in split into 3 groups. Okay. So in the group one, it is
Wait,
having
wait, wait,
one.
wait. Vignesh. First show the puzzle. You are directly showing the solution. First show the puzzle. What is there?
Yeah,
Yes, guys, please go through it. Gaurav, Omkar, Apnil.
Yes, Mansi. Seems to be kind of a knapsack approach.
Hmm. So you are having 8 balls, which are identical to size and appearance. One of them is defective, means it is either a heavy weight or it's a less weight, right? As per what you require to consider, right? And then you are having a weighting scale, no measurement, so you have to just compare the weights of them all against each other. How do you will do it? With only two iterations. So only two iterations are going to be there, and you have to find the defective one. So guys, solution for this particular problem, any logic from your side? Okay. So here solution is that I'm going to divide these three balls into three groups. So can you show us the groups, Pratik? Group 1 will contain 3 balls, group 2 will contain 2 balls, and then group 3 will contain the 2 balls, correct?
yes, Mansi.
Right. Now, if I'm going to compare the group 1 and group 2, if they are identical, means the balls which are there, right, they are going to have a same weight, correct?
Yes.
पर अगर वो आइडेंटिकल नहीं है और उसमें से एक कोई तो इज शोइंग अ डिफरेंट वेट देन आई विल कंपेयर इट विद द ग्रुप 3. Okay, so here what they have asked that they are going to divide the groups into three balls. Correct. Now we keep the group 3 aside and put group 1 and group 2 balls, right, into another scale, right, and then if the scale is balanced, means they are having the identical in the weight, and defective one is from the group 3. Correct. Clear with the logic, guys? अगर ग्रुप 1 एंड ग्रुप 2 सेम वेट है, मतलब ऑब्वियसली डिफेक्टिव वन वाला ग्रुप 3 में आता है, so you will compare the group 3 के balls in the second iteration. Correct.
Yes, Mansi.
Yes,
Right.
Mansi.
Right. Now
Yes.
what is the second situation? Group 1 is heavier than group 2, right? So can you just scale? Right. So if the group 1 is heavier than group 2, means the defective ball is in the group 1. That is either it is going to be 1, 2 or 3. Okay. Right. So
Yes, Mansi.
if for the first time we will keep the third aside, we will check out 1 and 2. Right. So if 1 and 2 is balanced, then the third one is defective. If the one is heavy, then first one is defective, and if the second is heavy, then second one is defective. In the same way, you will check out with the group 2. Correct.
Yes,
Yes,
Mansi.
Mansi.
Right. So are you clear with the conclusion? क्योंकि देखो उन्होंने क्लियरली बता दिया है कि एक ही डिफेक्टिव बॉल है, तो अगर ग्रुप 1 एंड ग्रुप 2 में कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है, तो आइदर डिफेक्टिव बॉल इज गोइंग टू बी द पार्ट ऑफ ग्रुप 1 और इट इज गोइंग टू बी द पार्ट ऑफ ग्रुप 2. राइट. अगर ग्रुप 1 हेवियर हो जाता है, तो आप ग्रुप 1 में सेकंड इटरेशन यूज करके चेक कर सकते हो कि कौन सा हेवियर है. अगर ग्रुप 2 हेवी हो जाता है, तो सेकंड इटरेशन यूज करके आप वो चेक कर सकते हो. एंड
Okay.
अनदर सिनेरियो क्या है कि इफ द ग्रुप 1 एंड ग्रुप 2 both are balanced, then obviously it is in the group 3. Correct.
Okay. Yeah, Mansi.
Yes, Mansi.
Clear with the solution?
I thought like we need to again compare all these three solution
No,
and
no.
need to. I thought like that, Mansi. Okay.
No. We are not required to, because see हमारे पास एक ही बॉल डिफेक्टिव है.
Okay. Okay. Mansi.
राइट. तो हमें वापस
Yes.
से उसको कंपेयर करने की जरूरत नहीं है बिल्कुल भी.
Okay, Mansi.
ओके.
Okay, Mansi. Yes.
I think so this was the last question.
Yes, Mansi.
So guys, how was this particular discussion? Is it helpful? Obviously,
Yes.
the logic which has been
Yes.
represented by Pratik, you have to develop that logic. He has just explained the logic and he just explained the code. But afterwards, when he will share the demos with you, you are required to check out that particular demo. You have to debug it. You have to try to understand the logic, and then you require to write it. Try to write it again. Okay, this is going to help you out. Only listening to this is not going to help you out, but to debugging the code and trying to understand it, running it multiple times, right, is going to help you out. So just take this as a starting point. Correct, guys?
Mansi.
Yes, Mansi.
Right? But these kinds of questions can be asked in interview. Interviewer may ask you to write down the logic, and most of the scenarios just have a mindset that he may ask you to write down the code in the notepad. Okay, where intelligence is not there. Sometimes you have given the solution, but he is interested in another approach also. So basically, I will suggest guys that you should be pretty much comfortable with the Java 7 syntax and Java 8 syntax. So suppose if you have represented some logic and that logic is correct, and then afterwards if the interviewer asks you, okay, right, try to write down the same logic using Java 8, right? Then you should be comfortable with that. Okay, are you getting guys what I'm trying to say?
Yes, Mansi.
Right, right. So once again, to solve these kinds of problems successfully, only one technical discussion attending is not sufficient. daily you require to take a half an hour aside, and actually you should practice this particular thing, right? Then and only then at runtime, when client is going to ask you to do certain things, you will able to do it in a precise manner. Understanding, guys? Because normal code writing, creating of the REST API, doing the Java stuff is different, and writing the logic is different. We all know how to write down the logic, but obviously, when you are doing a project work, the practice for this code writing is somewhere missing out, right? Am I right or wrong, guys?
Right.
It's correct,
Right?
Mansi.
So,
Yes.
right. So suddenly, when the interviewer says, "Okay, write down the logic," for initial we may get fumbled, right? So, my suggestion will be daily half an hour keep aside for this kind of problem statements, writing the solutions for the problem statement. It will help you a lot. This is a suggestion from my side. Or you can actually go to the various platforms which are available, like HackerRank, or Codility is also there. So you can actually go to HackerRank or these kinds of coding platforms. You can actually do the temporary login for 8 days or something like that, and you can try to solve the things over there. That will also definitely help you out. Understanding, guys?
Yes, Mansi.
I hope
Yes.
yes, yes. I hope this session was helpful, all right, and you enjoyed it. Pratik, sorry, not Pratik, sorry, my mistake, Vignesh. Thank you very much for presenting this particular topic and showing all the demos thoroughly and discussing them, all right? Thank you very much, Vignesh. I know you have got the VDI, and now your very shortly your project work will be get started. So Vignesh, all the best for your project. I'm sure you will do well.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much, Mansi. Thank you.
And Smita, Vignesh will share the course with you. Okay, generally all the codes which we discussed in the technical discussions, those get shared. So Vignesh will definitely share it. Okay, guys?
Yeah, okay, Mansi.
Right. Now the next topic which we are going to discuss, that topic is nothing but the design pattern. Once again, one of the important topics from interview and overall as a developer point of view. Right. So for that particular technical discussions, you will receive the invitations shortly. Okay, guys? So
Yes.
guys, we can conclude
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Mansi,
Yes.
I have one doubt. Actually, from tomorrow onwards, one Spring Boot training is going to start.